Damn, if this news that I'm bringing you guys today is real, then we really could be seeing the return of some absolute golden era LEGO Star Wars sets, such as Republic Y-Wings, gunships, and maybe even a very special version of the gunship known as the Melesi gunship. What is up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I have some fantastic news coming from the way of Instagram. I woke up this morning, opened my phone as I usually do, just to check if there's anything floating around in the LEGO news space, and a post from 1414 Falcon Fan popped up, and it was this one that you see right here on screen. It basically says that LEGO will be celebrating the 20th anniversary of the Clone Wars 2003 in 2023. And now you might be thinking, I'm no mathematician, but the Clone Wars TV show started in 2008, and yeah, that doesn't quite equate to 20 years. Well, if you might remember, there was actually another Clone Wars show called Star Wars Clone Wars. It came out between episodes 2 and 3 and was also animated, but this one was done in the 2D art style, and this one actually came out in 2003, so that would make sense for the 20th anniversary. Now, there's a plethora of awesome stuff that could come from that awesome show. I personally haven't rewatched that for maybe a year or so. However, I remember some fantastic things such as the Melesi 10 gunship. There's a cool Anakin ship in there, which we actually have seen built in LEGO. There's a few cool minifigs that I would love to see translated into LEGO form, such as Bordeaux. However, I don't think that this 20th anniversary celebration is going to be limited to the 2003 show. I think it's going to be branching out to the entire Clone Wars as a whole. And I mean, would that really surprise you if LEGO didn't know the difference between the two shows? They can't even tell the difference between the prequel and original trilogy era.
Is a set from the original trilogy.
All jokes aside though, 1414 Falcon Fan suggested that this is going to be not only on the box of the 501st Specialist pack, but also will be appearing on the Rex and Cody helmets. Now, the reason I mention this is that eagle-eyed viewers like yourself might notice that Rex and the 501st did not appear in the 2003 Clone Wars show. Rex was actually based off of a character that was from the 2003 Clone Wars show named Alpha, I believe, but they didn't want to have too many characters beginning with A in the newer sort of Clone Wars show, so they changed his name to Rex from Alpha, obviously alongside Anakin and Ahsoka. It would have been a bit confusing if they all began with A, but that really opens up this new celebration wave to a lot more sets. Obviously that opens us up now for sets basically from any era of the Clone Wars, so pretty much from that 2003 show up until the last season of the Clone Wars show, which came out literally in 2020. So I think we should be in for some really cool sets here. Now let's talk a bit about the validity of the leak and what this might mean going forward. So now this was leaked by someone who's pretty legitimate in the community, 1414 Falcon Fan. He's a pretty spot on leaker. I haven't really seen any scandals where he's leaked anything and it's not come out to be true. And of course he does mention Promo Bricks at the bottom of the post. Now Promo Bricks is probably one of the only legit leakers that I would say I would go off of 100% of the time, because he is pretty much spot on most of the time. So that means we could be seeing a load of cool Clone Wars sets next year. However, I did go over to Promo Bricks' Instagram account and there was no such mention of any of this news, so I don't know how he got this from Promo Bricks. Maybe Promo Bricks deleted it, but I'm not too sure yet, so definitely take this with a grain of salt. But what could this mean for the future? Now I think we're really going to see some cool sets coming up next year. I'm really hopeful and sort of optimistic that we're going to get a Republic gunship. I think that's going to be the main one LEGO will need to do. They've seen the price of the old one skyrocket, but one thing that might lead them to not make this is the failure of the UCS version. Now in my opinion, that was purely LEGO's fault. I really do think that was nothing to do with the community or consumers not wanting to buy prequel era stuff. I think they really marketed that badly. They almost self-sabotaged that set, to be honest, but I think hopefully we'll see a play scale one coming up this year, because that's really what fans are demanding and really asking for, and have been doing so for years now. Now of course we're talking about the latter half of the year. We're going to get obviously a couple of sets like I mentioned earlier that might have this stamp of the 20th anniversary on in January through to May time. If you want to see my video on all the different sets that are coming out in that time, go check out this video right here. I will leave a link up in the top corner for you guys to go check out, because it's definitely worth a watch to see everything that's coming up in that time span. But with that being said, of course, we don't know any news about the latter half of the year, and that's usually one of the better times of the year. We do have sort of a bigger UCS set or MBS set coming up. We obviously have quite a nice wave. We usually have a big $170 set. This year we also got a $140 ATTE, as well as a $100 playset and much more. So we could really see LEGO capitalize on this and go full out with a nice wave of these sets. However, with the continuation of the Disney Plus popularity, I really do think we're going to see a couple of sets based on Disney Plus shows. So at most I would gamble we'd see maybe 4 or 5 Clone Wars sets, but I really don't think it'll even be that many. I think 3 is probably my best guess as to what will be the most accurate to what we'll get in the summer. So that would make for a total of 6 celebration anniversary sets, with the obviously 501st pack, the 2 helmets, and then maybe 3 more that are coming out in the summer. Now what I hope they don't do with this is just throw in a load of brickheads. I think that could be something they do. Obviously that'd be cool to see clones in brickhead form, but I'm talking about minifigs, I'm talking about play scale sets, and I'm talking about really cool things like that, vehicles, Clone Wars stuff like that. I think that's what everyone really wants, and I think we'd all be disappointed a little bit with the brick heads if they did in fact throw those in as part of this wave. I mean, it would be good to have on the side, but as long as it's not taking up space for a cool playset or something like that in the future. When it comes to top of my list, I would say UCS set wise would be obviously an ATTE, a turbo tank, and a Venator. I think those are the three that I'd love to see the most out of UCS stuff. I think Venator would probably be my number one because that doesn't really matter about the scale too much because you're never going to get a minifig scale one. However, if I did see an ATTE or a turbo tank, I would love to see minifig scale versions of those, although I don't know whether that's too likely, especially going off of what they did with the gunship last year. I mean, they could potentially do an Arc 170 in the style of like the UCS X-Wing or something like that, but I don't know whether they would be doing that because it's a bit more of an obscure set, but I would love to see it nonetheless. Now, something I mentioned earlier is the Munilist 10 gunship. Now, this would be so cool if they made this in LEGO form. However, as cool as it is, I would probably prefer to go with a regular playscale gunship. I mean, with this you could see some awesome stuff. There's so many times the gunship has popped up, not just in the Clone Wars, but in the movies as well, so we really could see some cool things. However, if I had to choose, I'd probably have at least 3 Phase 2 clones, and then potentially like a Rex or something in there as well. But speaking of Rex, something that everyone's mentioned over the last couple of years is a Rex's Y-Wing from the Clone Wars. Now, this is something that would be so sick. I would love this, and I think this would be probably one of the top of my lists as well with regards to playsets. I think this could come out at that sort of $100 range, maybe the $80 range, something around there. I think that'd be really good, and I think it would be a fantastic one to add to the lineup. So of course we are getting the one battle pack in the form of the 501st one in January. However, it would be really cool to see another one featuring later on in the year. I know they don't usually split them up like this, but it could be a good time to do a droid battle pack or some sort of other Clone Wars one based on the Clone Wars TV show, hopefully with a different Clone Legion or something like that. And as I mentioned before, clone packs would be a really sick thing. I'd love to see one with sort of random obscure characters from different parts of the Clone Wars TV show. I think those would both be some fantastic ideas for sets. Now, of course, all of this is speculation. We have no news yet as to what could be coming in this celebration of the 20th anniversary of the Clone Wars. Now, if you have any other suggestions, leave them down in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this, whether you think there's going to be 2003 Clone Wars sets in here. I think they've got to kind of include one 2003 Clone Wars thing if they're going to talk about this. I guess kind of the Cody helmet will be from the 2003 Clone Wars shows, so potentially that's them covering their bases for that. But I mean, if they're calling it the 20th anniversary, they've really got to do things from that. So hopefully we'll see like the tattooed Anakin minifig. I think a minifig pack could be really cool with Alpha 17 as well as Fordo. That would be pretty sick. I really do think this is wishful thinking at this point, but it'd be cool to see some other Jedi. There's some cool Jedi featured in that, and I'd love to see how they tackle this in the coming year. So let me know what you think of this in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your speculation and thoughts in the comment section as always. Hit that like button if you enjoyed, and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. I'd love to have you here, and we're closing in slowly on 40,000 subs. So if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, it'd be muchly appreciated. It really is shaping up to be a really exciting next 6 to 8 months for LEGO Star Wars. I'm excited to see what comes out. I think it's going to be pretty sick. I'm definitely apprehensive as to what's going to come with this new January wave. I'm hoping there's going to be some more sets added on to the stuff we already know that I mentioned in that video earlier on. Fingers crossed we might get another battle pack. I really hope that. And clone packs is one that's still up in the air. As I mentioned before, it'd be cool to get some clone packs from the Clone Wars, but I think it would be really cool just to have any sorts of clone packs, preferably non-army builder ones, so that they don't sell out every single day this time. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you did enjoy, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.